Hey everybody, Mike Steele here, Barbecue Champs Academy live, and we got the man in the house with us tonight, Mr. Aaron Leslie, sounding loud and clear with his new updated
9 weeks.
9 weeks, no more glitching. So, hey Aaron, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'll tell you what, tonight is my best Tuesday night so far in many months, man. I'm not
Yes.
getting can't hear you. We
Oh, I
can't
know
hear
it.
you.
None of that,
Internet
man.
sucks.
Yeah, he is. He
Internet, guys.
is.
Love
He
internet.
has got it rocking, man. No more Mr. Glitch. So y'all can tell him how great he sounds right now, because it's awesome. Well, we got people on here. I have no idea how in the world these people are able to post comments when we're not even live yet. Russell, I don't know. I don't know how you're doing it. I see they're all on YouTube doing that. So maybe it's a feature on YouTube that
Think
allows
so.
them to do
I
it.
wanted to
So.
talk early as you.
Anyway, yeah, Russell, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Tony, thank you for joining us. Chance, thank you for being with us tonight. What's going on to you? Well, man, I don't know. Getting ready for a barbecue competition. Mr. Jason, glad to have you here. First comment. Yeah, first comment of the night, other than the ones that were already back there before we ever got started. Samuel, we appreciate you being here. Al, man, congratulations on your new trailer. It looks awesome. Get it all fixed up, man, the way that you want it. So, you're gonna love it. Laid Back Barbecue is with us tonight. Mr. Jason, it popped up and I clicked it. There you go. Who else we got? Mr. Alvy. Hey guys, how do you choose between Aaron and Bill Purvis on Academy? Both really good, man.
One before the other, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, they're both incredible classes. I mean, we don't have a bad class. I'll put it like that. I will say Bill used drums with the pellet cooker on his ribs, but he did tell you how to cook it on a drum, because that's what he was doing. Aaron's class is incredibly technical as well, and he cooked mainly all his stuff was on an offset, his Jambo. So both are great classes. Man, the best thing you can do is take both, and you'll have the best of the both worlds, because the people that I see doing the best and more consistent is the people that's taken multiple classes, 2 or 3 of them, and they kind of, okay, I'm learning tricks that this guy's got, and I'm learning tricks that this guy's got. So it really kind of helps you with all of it. So, and I'm sure there's other people on here that can chime in as well. Mr. Russell S.E. live chat starts 5 to 10 minutes early. Well, isn't that interesting? It's got to be a function then on YouTube. Well, thank you, Russell, for letting me know. Eddie, appreciate you being here. Mr. Danny, glad to have you with us tonight, brother. Hope you and y'all are doing well down there. My gosh, I'm drawing a dang blank. Holy Toledo. Anyway, Belle, thank you for being here. Dirk, thank you for joining us. And Rhonda, good Lord, just completely drew a blank. Tell Miss Rhonda I said hi. So getting on the spot. Chance, thank you for joining us. What's up, Mr. Aaron? As you hear, he's doing really well. Question for Lee, Aaron, and Mike. I'm having shoulder surgery next week. I'm mobilizing a sling for 6 weeks. Any tips on how to trim meats with one arm? Very carefully. So, yeah, that's kind of hard to do. You might have somebody hold the meat for you with one hand while you're doing the work with the other hand. So, man, just take it easy on that shoulder, man, because you don't need to aggravate something and cause more problems. Let's see. Thanks for the info. All right. Anthony, thank you for being here. There's Miss Samantha. Thank you for joining us. James Miller's with us tonight. Houston Live's nice to meet you. It was good to meet you too there. Yeah, that's right. Great to meet you at the Houston. I remember that. Let's see what else. Aaron, Brandon, Iron Sauce is, alone, or take it with blending it. That's it. We got Mr. Nick with us tonight. Thank you. Jason, once again. Ask John Ziegler. So we got quite a few folks on here. We even got Lucas from the land down under over in Australia. Thank you for joining us. Good morning there, Lucas. We appreciate you being here, man. So, Chris, thank you for joining us, man. I tell you what, we got quite a few folks on here. I already got 28,000 folks on here, so it's going to be a great show. We got you coming in loud and clear. Let's talk a little bit about Aaron Leslie this past weekend, brother. Man, you went out there and kind of had a pretty good deadgum run with some steak and some chef choice. Why don't you tell a little bit about where you ran at this weekend?
I got good old boy on brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the box looks too good. I mean, it's hard to cook a crappy looking brisket anymore. Even though you try without shaking the box up and dropping it. But yeah, no, we did the mason burnout. I mean, it's So oil field related cook off. I think they had 40 or 42 teams there. But all the oil field companies, it's a big donation. It's a huge thing for veterans, and so we do it every year. It's a charity type event, but yeah, we got out there and I partnered up with a couple other companies that have water flow and everything, and so we just kind of out there. I think we could 600 pounds of crawfish on Saturday. Everything to go with that, and then of course the cook off itself. And yeah, man, had a 200 perfect 200 chef choice. My steak was one appearance score away from a 200.
Wow.
My ribs was a 9 away from a 200, and
wow.
Same rib on the barbecue champs class. And
okay.
My chicken was 9th, and my brisket came in at 21. It just looked too good. You know, it's
yeah.
kind of hard in a field like that when you've got all those oil field companies, all the people kind of come around. You know, you just gotta dumb it down a little bit, make it not quite so pretty. And,
no pretty in the box. Yep.
If I'm gonna pour it in, I turned it in, and that's just where I don't no hard feelings. My burn ends were awesome, but I left those out. We just ate those and just kind of played around with it. So CBA judged it. Was not sanctioned, but CBA did run the judging system.
Okay.
So
okay.
It was a good deal. So yeah, I had a great time. Coming 5th overall.
Heck yeah, man! That's awesome. That's awesome.
Last year we were GC with 4 first place, and this year we were 5th with 2 first.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Man, yeah, you don't seem to be cooking as much in the last few months as you normally do. Usually every weekend you're tearing it up. Have you just been kind of taking a little break?
Yeah, restaurants open on Saturday, so I try to do 1 or 2 weekends and then take a third weekend and work at the restaurant and be around here, taking care of stuff. So I don't want to be gone so much, but I also need to make sure that I'm kind of close to home. So I have been cooking though. I've cooked the last 3 weeks, probably in a row, but and I'll be at the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo this coming weekend.
Okay.
So we'll be up there, but I have taken a few weekends off, here lately. I just kind of not burned out. I just need a little time here to do some things.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do it. I mean, I had a whole bunch of competitions lined up. I had like 7 or 8 in a row, and I just said, man, it's just too busy right now with what I got going on. Pools are a mess right now with all the pollen we've fallen, this fallen, and I was just like, I told Suzette, I was like, I'm just going to chill out, get through this next month and a half, start picking them up, May. I can run pretty hard through May and June, July, and, not have them every single weekend. It's tough to do. I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys do it, Bill.
I also DSD 17 stores here in West Texas between Midland, Odessa,
right,
surrounding area, Andrews, and so I have to physically go and stock those stores. They're grocery stores, supermarkets, meat markets, that kind of thing. So I have to take care of that. So I have to take a Monday, Tuesday every second week, which means that in order for me to do my restaurant duties, I have to have the weekend off to run into the weekend and finish it up, unless it's kind of close where I can stop and come back on Sunday and keep going. So
yeah, I understand.
I take care of business.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. You still got to take care of your business, no matter what. Cooking is. We want to do it all the time, but sometimes you got to go. Hey, I got to get my work done first so I can go play. So, Anyway, well, look, man, we got a great guest tonight. This guy, I guess you could say he smoked them this weekend. He had a great weekend. Real quick, we want to thank our partners, Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. Y'all keep David in your prayers. He's the owner of Gunnar Wilhelm. He's been battling cancer now for the last year or so. So keep him in your prayers. If you're looking for an incredibly good knife, right there, somewhere back in there they are. Incredibly good, super sharp. And they hold an edge as good as any knife that I've ever had. And I've got some nice $200 or $300 knives. So check them out. B&B Charcoal. Thank you for letting me be part of the team this year. We appreciate you and all your support. Check them out. They got some great stuff. I've been running them char logs a little bit. I'm telling you what, them things are awesome. Miss Gail with Daigle's Barbecue sauces and glazes. She's just a sweet lady. Got some awesome stuff down in South Louisiana. Raider Red Meats. I've told you a cajillion times, if you're looking for Prairie Fresh prime pork butts and ribs, she's got them. She can ship them overnight to you. It's pretty reasonable freight for what she does on the shipping. It's probably some of the best rates that I've seen. And if you're needing stuff particular like weight sizes or anything, or marbling or what you're looking for, she's very good. I've talked with her over the years to instruct her, plus customers have given me massive feedback telling me how wonderful she is about getting good product to them. You can go to and check them out. If you go to bbqchamps.com, there's a link at the bottom of every one of our pages, and it says Raider Red Meats. You can click it, and it'll take you over to their site and talk to Kirsten. She's the manager, and tell her that you heard about us on Barbecue Champs, and she will fix you up. I promise you. Going to be some of the best stuff you got. Mr. Bo, right, man, Bo had a great weekend, didn't he? I mean, congratulations, Bo. You rocked it this weekend, so congratulations to you. Mr. Gordon, glad to have you here. John as well. Kevin, Darren, appreciate you being here. Man, we got 43,000 folks on here. Let's roll with it. We're fixing to bring in the champ, man. He freaking got down there and absolutely showed up and showed out down at the Alvin Music Fest. Mr. Micah is with us tonight. Brother, how are you doing? Jokers and smokers.
Let's go, baby.
How you doing, man?
I'm feeling good, Mike. I'm feeling good.
I bet you are. I mean, let's see. You go down Alvin Music Fest. I remember when that thing first started several years ago. I think it usually had like 50, 60 teams. And, man, now this thing's done grown up to like 178 teams this weekend. And, man, you rocked it. I want you to tell everybody, what was your calls, how many calls you had. I know you had 2 or 3 of them in the top 10 out of 178 teams, which is crazy. So how'd you roll this weekend? What'd you do?
Well, it started with technically on Thursday, man. Joe and the team, man, he has the old 20-foot trailer. So he was like, man, let's redo this trailer. So Thursday we spent all day gutting the trailer, putting insulation in, plywood, everything, and prep table. And he wanted to roll with that, So it's the first time I've cooked in a trailer. I go put in I sleep in my truck for the last 100 cook-offs, and I go travel with 10x10. And so I'm a 10x10 warrior, dude. I pop up with barrels in the back of my truck, and that's how I usually roll. But this weekend was a little different. We had a nice setup with the whole squad with us. And so I had a lot more help than I usually do because I'm by myself a lot. And, man, we just decided to wake up early every day and get there early, set up, prop ourselves, and make sure that we had everything lined up. Got very good meats from the chopping block and the Carne Sierra Prime, which is another sponsor of ours that's about to be pretty big for fajitas and our chicken and a bunch of other stuff too as well. And man, I was ready to rock and roll, man. I had a good feeling about everything. So the weather was kind of crazy, man. We ended up with about 8 inches of water in front of our trailer.
Wow!
In a matter of like 3 hours. So we used a lot of. We bought a bunch of bags of wood chips from
wood chips. Yeah, float them in there.
It helped a little bit, but it ended up being a wood chip mud fest there.
Yeah, I bet.
You had a durable cage your campsite, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we ended up with a sixth chicken, fifth ribs, and 9th pork. And I had a feeling, man, once they called that pork, that 9th pork, I already knew in my head, man. I was like, man, our brisket was on point. Don't get me wrong. I literally thought we were going to get a first place brisket. I mean, that's how confident I was in the brisket. So I was just like, man, we're about to, sweep this place.
Right.
And we ended up with a 41st brisket out of 178. It wasn't too bad. I think we lost. I think we lost brisket to first place by like 4.5 points. That was a spread on that from first to 41st. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not too shabby, brother.
Jeez, that's tight. That's very tight scores. Wow. Grand champion. 178 teams, 3 top 10 calls. Man, that's got to make you feel good. Holy crap! So
yeah, I might have cried a little bit. I got some dust in my eye, cigarette ashes in my eye.
Yeah, that's what you got to blame it on for sure, man. I don't know. I'd be bawling and crying on something like that as well, man. That's awesome, man. So
when it's your day, it's your day, and you're on a roll. You're on a roll.
Yeah, it felt good, brother. It felt good.
Yeah. So, so what do you cook?
I slept in a bed that night before, so that's I think that's the difference. Instead of me sleeping in my truck, I slept in a bed.
You got a good night's sleep. Next thing you know, you're gonna see him roll up with a 40-foot deadgum triple axle trailer loaded up with the full sleeper and stuff like what we've got. So he's gonna be getting plenty of sleep. So.
I'm a hippie, man. So I don't know. I think I like the smaller setups, man. I have my truck has about 400,000 miles on it. I don't want to test it too much,
Right. So what do you cook on, Micah? You cook on offset, drums, pellet cookers? Well, how you roll, man?
Everything drums, man. And everything drums really. So I started building my own drums years ago, and I got a Silver Surfer, man. It's like 6 years old. I've been running my ribs on that for like the last 5 years, and I've been doing really good in ribs the last year and a half on CBA. I was in IBCA a long time, and I had an offset, and I was competing against like Aaron and a bunch of other guys that were always whooping my ass, and I don't know. I went to one cook-off, I think, in about 2017, and I seen a guy with drums, and it kind of made me go, "What the hell is that thing?" And he was like, "Yeah, I built it, man. It works good. It had 2 racks, all this stuff." And I was like, "Well, how's it work? How does it not burn your meat from the bottom? Like I don't understand this." And then you realize how it kind of works. So you build your own first. You try to test it out. But yeah, we run 4 drums. We got 3 brand new drums that we just got built for us. So they're pretty cool as hell. But
Right.
yeah, man, I've been running on drums for the last probably 50 competitions and doing all right with them.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. 50 or 60, that's good. You cook all 4 meats on it? Brisket, rib, pork, chicken?
Yeah, 4 drums. Everyone got their own little house, and try to make them all, they feel comfortable in their domain, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Man, that's pretty cool. So, where do you run your temp? I mean, let's talk a little bit about brisket real quick, because I know there's a lot of people, man, some of them run these things stupid hot and fast. They'll start off hot and fast. They'll slow them down. Some just kind of, low and slow, about 300 degrees. What do you do for brisket? I mean, how do you roll brisket?
Well, I was fortunate to take a few classes in my day, and took a recent one on Barbecue Champ Academy.
Yeah.
I'll shout out to Robert Smith. I took his brisket class. I've also taken, a couple other people's brisket class, Aaron's and 2 others, and
right.
I kind of combine them all together,
Yeah.
So I like to start it out at about 350 first 2 hours, and then once the bark is set good, I don't really care about temperature at all. I don't probe it until I wrap it. So
right.
I don't even know the temperature of the brisket until I probe it when I wrap it. So once I put it in the pan and wrap it up, then I let it flow from there. But I usually start 350, and then from that point on, it's 300 all the way.
300. So 350 cooked. Then once you wrap it, drop the temp down to 300 and let her roll. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's usually good enough.
I'll have all 4 barrels. They're all sitting there at 300 degrees, all 4 of them.
Okay.
About 2 hours together.
Yeah.
I got one that's about 600 on this one. I got one about 300.
Yeah. You never know. Aaron's stuff, his cages are wrapped around each other, so you never know what Aaron's got. So
I put a new one on burn.
Oh, did you? Okay.
You don't know. 2 frog gauges too. Every now and then you don't know. You just got to base it on what it looks like and
yeah.
Feels. And if your bark's set, man, don't overdo it.
Right. So how long does it normally take it to bark up at 350? About 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah, 2.5 hours.
2.5. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. That's cool. What do you use for fuel?
If you got a heavy hand though, and like you go a little heavy with your rubs,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had it where it barked up, but it was still the rubs kind of fell off. So I put a rubber glove on and I'll wipe the top of it while it's barked up and kind of knock off the other stuff, because when you wrap it, that stuff will cake up and then it'll make all the bark fall off of it. So
there you go. There's your pro tip.
Pro tip right there.
There's your little pro tip right there. So
get it blown and wipe it while it's dried up, when it's firmed up, and kind of knock off that loose stuff. And you're still gonna have the same flavor. It already cooked that rub into it. So
right. So you're saying, like, right before you wrap it, if there's any loose stuff on top, you just kind of brush it off.
Yeah, you flake it off, or even use a dry brush. Like your saucing brush.
Just kind
of wipe it off. And get rid of that stuff.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool, huh? So do you use lump or use charcoal?
I'm a big B&B fan. I mean, I'll use whatever I get my hands on. I don't have a lot of money, so if I had to grab something else,
you're right.
I'll make it work. But we try to use straight B&B. I like B&B oak lump. In the big tan bag, and I throw in there, and I'll mix it with Aaron Leslie's stuff. I kind of do like a mix, because I've noticed the burn on his has a multi flavor of 3 woods, I think, in it: mesquite, hickory, and oak.
Yeah.
And B&B is just solid oak, so I'll put a little bottom casing of oak, and then I'll throw his on top. And then sometimes I'll even add on my chicken, I'll do the B&B oak briquettes, so one layer of that too as well. So.
Right. Yeah. Do you use are you good on? Do you like to use wood, like wood chunks, or you just mainly just like to use the lump itself?
So on barrels, I was doing about 4 or 5 chunks per barrel last year, and I had some comments. CBA likes to put their comments, and I had some too smoky, or it doesn't look smoky at all. Who knows? I mean, it's barbecue, so it's wood. You're always
Right.
chocolate's made out of wood too, so it's going to have a little bit of that wood flavor. But I backed it down, man. So each barrel gets 2 chunks. That's it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on my brisket, a brisket's 1 chunk of mesquite, 1 chunk of pecan. My chicken, I don't use any wood on my chicken though.
Yeah.
But ribs, it's 2 chunks of pecan, and then my pork is 1 chunk of pecan, 1 chunk of hickory.
Yeah. So you're just kind of keeping it a light little smoke. I tell you what, man, it can get too smoky on you in a hurry. I had a little issue first couple competitions this year. My brisket just tasted smokier than it normally did, and I finally figured it out. I was using the same. I was putting more lump charcoal in my smoker than what I normally started it with. It was getting really, really cold. It was January, and man, I'm just gonna throw another couple extra scoops on there. Man, it made a big difference on the flavor at that thing at the end. It's crazy how something as little as that would do it. So,
it is.
And I was just like, man, this ain't how I've been doing it. Let's back off a little bit. And it toned that brisket down immediately. I mean, when I got back from the cook-off up in Irving, Texas, I came back the next day. I couldn't taste it when I was eating it, cutting it, putting it in the box. But, man, that next day, I took a bite of that brisket, and I was like, oh, my gosh, this thing is freaking horrible. Like, no wonder I didn't get a final table.
The next day tasting it is definitely when you'll literally...
You can taste it.
What the judges taste. Because if you're to cook off with 150 teams and everyone put their boxes on the damn table, and then they're asking for 10 more judges, still.
Right.
No one's going to eat your stuff, for another 30 minutes probably. So you got to realize, well, everyone's box is going to be cold. So what does it taste like cold, So I like to wait until I don't even eat. I don't try none of my food until after the box is turned in. I come back, and then I have I don't want to eat my food beforehand. Like I'd rather just trust my process, because if not, I'll second guess it, and I might try to do something real quick at the end before I put it in the box or something, and then your brain goes all crazy.
Yeah,
so I try to just do after, and I try to eat it like a judge. Like I let it get a little cold, and and that's when I can tell myself while they're eating it, I'm eating it at the same time, and I can tell myself, that's gonna hit, or that ain't doing nothing.
Right. That's a good way to do it. My food gets better as it sits. I mean, that's one thing people like. Yeah, I could care less. Multiple rounds is fine with me. But the problem is I'm inside, you've seen my smoker. I mean, it's inside my rig, and, it's smoke in there. I mean, I'm blowing all the smoke out, but you're in there with it. And when you go to taste it, you just can't taste the smoke, I guess, because you've been smelling it. You've been smelling it all day long, right? So you can't taste it. And, man, like I said, that next day I got back, I pulled it out of the refrigerator, I heated up a couple of slices, I took a bite of that, and I was like, God, dog, this damn thing. I had to put barbecue sauce on it to eat it. It was that damn smoky. So I was like, God dang, let me drown it out a little bit. I just sauced the crap out of it. I squirted it just like at a damn restaurant. And, man, I squirted on there, baby. And it was good then, like it toned it down, I guess, because the sweetness of the barbecue sauce mellowed out the dang smoke. But it was that smoky, and I had 2 of them that was like that. And I was like, we're gonna fix this problem.
What kind of wood you running, Mike?
B&B hickory.
I'm talking about your chunks. You do gourmet wood? That's the best wood out there.
Yep, I use gourmet wood. I use pecan, and I use 3 fist-size pieces. And I'll let it run for about 25-30 minutes. When I first light it, all the smoke's gone from the B&B, and then I'll add one.
You leaving the lid open and just letting it run?
Well, I'm cooking on a rotisserie, so I've got an offset. So it's an offset. So I'll get it started. I'll let it run for 25-30 minutes till I see the smoke go away. When I don't see any smoke, I'll just add 1 fist-size chunk of pecan. It'll smoke up a little bit. They always smoke a little when you first put them on for about 15-20 minutes. Pretty good, and then once it gets lit, it's just a nice blue, thin smoke. That'll run for about 45 minutes to maybe almost an hour. And then all of a sudden the smoke's gone. And I'll put 1 more piece, and I'll let it do the same process. Let it run till I can't see it. Then it's just always usually 3 pieces of pecan. And
what are you running your rotisserie at? 275 or what?
I run at 270. All my brisket, ribs, my brisket and ribs is at 270. I cook my chicken on a Weber. 22-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. So, but yeah, it's just 270, and it just stays there. It just doesn't move. It's just 270. I've got a fan assist on it, and man, it's consistent. I mean, that's the one thing I love about the rotisserie. I mean, I can put my ribs on, run them an hour and 20 minutes, wrap them, put them back in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't even really need to temp them. They're done every single time. Unless I've got something that's just
I need to get
stupid.
some of them damn fans like y'all have, man. I usually just get on my knees and start blowing on the hole, you know what I'm saying?
Don't say y'all. There's no y'all in
Yeah, I'm not in that one. I've got a little fan that does that for me. So, oh, goodness gracious, man. That's
it.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't trust electronics, man. I have a weird thing in my brain. I'm like,
oh,
if
man.
I put that fan on, I'm going to go to bed watching, and that fan's going to catch on fire, and that motor's going to blow up, and then something wrong with that, man.
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm old school where I stare at my barrels, dude. I don't leave my barrels, man. I don't go. I never sit down. If anyone knows me, and most people that are around me, they know, dude. I don't sit down, you know, until the competition. Even in the award, I sit down after award. That's the first time I sit down in 2 days. So.
Gosh, I don't even want to put what Brandon just posted. I'm sure you see it. God, I'm not.
Damn you, Tony.
Oh gosh, no. Brandon just posted something. We're not even gonna put that down. He was just joking.
I didn't see it. I wish I saw it.
It's some of that Saturday night humor we were talking about.
Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, so Tony's got...
I love Brandon, though. Brandon's a good dude.
Brandon, yeah, he's picking at you, know. G-Walt's best at getting on his knees and blowing. So you can pay him back for that because what you said. So
I think he saw me one time. He walked up. He's like, "What are you doing over there?" And I was blowing on my barrel. You know.
Hey man, you got to do what you got to do. Hey, I'm blowing on my meat. All right, leave me alone. So, oh goodness. All right, so here's a good question from Tony. Do y'all ever use? I'm sure he's meant. Y'all ever use different types of wood for flavor beside the norm? Man, Micah, you're our guest. Do you ever? I mean, you said you like to use some. I think you said mesquite, didn't you? And
yeah, mesquite
for chunks,
brisket, and then just pecan and oak, man. Really, I remember. I mean, I remember when you know, my favorite was when I was at IBCA back in like 2010, 11, 12, and I was doing really good in ribs. Like I would go. I'd always end up third, fourth overall. David Prater and Johnny Dunn and all them dudes would whoop my ass every weekend. Alan Freeman was one of my fucking, you know, he's one of my mentors. And I would just be like, what the hell's going on, man? Because I was always using fruity wood, but I love the way my ribs taste when I use peach wood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I would always overuse peach wood, overuse cherry, and all that stuff, man. And I would realize, man, why are my ribs so damn dark?
Yeah.
And that stuff is so sappy, and it gives off fruit wood. You know, it'll give off a dark smoke. It'll turn your stuff dark fast.
Dark.
You know? So
yeah.
So I kind of, since the last year, I haven't not used any fruit wood at all other than pecan. You know, pecan is not it's a fruit wood, but it's
not a fruit. It's more of a nut. It's a hardwood. Yeah. It's a little mild. It's milder than hickory. It's got a nice little sweet, mild flavor to it. So, what about you, Aaron? Have you ever played around with? Have you ever played around with fruit woods?
Yeah. No. Well, you know, I have done a few fruit woods, and it was very early in what I was doing. You know, so. But I didn't pay much. It was like somebody just gave it to me. Hey man, I got some peach, or I've got some apple, or I've got some whatever. Somebody just randomly come from out of state, had a bunch of wood, so I tried. But that was a one and done thing.
Right.
And 3 different times on 3 different types of wood. I just went back to mesquite because that's what I started cooking on. We could barbecue out here for caterings and everything else on mesquite. I'd have the prettiest damn smoker you could ever find. And but when I started traveling to other areas, mesquite just wasn't really hitting, right? So I went to pecan, and I've been with pecan for the last 5 or 6 years. Right.
Okay. That's cool.
No. Straight pecan, Aaron, what are you saying?
Yeah. So I use nature. I think it's Nature's Own. It's from depending on where you go. You got like Market Street, United. There's some grocery stores that have like a clear plastic bag with a little plastic handle on the top.
They got the little holes in it.
I don't know. If it has holes in it. The splits are about 8 inches long.
Yeah, I know.
They're all the same. They're kiln dried. So one bag lasts me 2 cook-offs, and I buy it by the pallet. throw it here in my warehouse, and then I would just grab a bag and 2 cook-offs. I'd use it, and every time I would. So I've been using the pecan for quite a while, and when I started buying a pallet of those, because it's getting hard to find, everybody was buying cook-off season, and I'd have to chase who gets to the store before the other cookers do here in Midland, right? So it's like 5 or 6 guys going for the same thing. There's only 3 of those stores, so we buy that. But yeah, I mean, I run pecan now, and then of course my lump, and kind of get that way. I get that good oat, a little bit of mesquite, a little bit of hickory. It's a nice blend where it kind of gives you the heat and the long lasting. And I throw that pecan in there, so now you got that little 4-foot thing.
Yeah.
The light smoke, you know what I'm saying?
Lighter smoke. Yep.
A little bit. You don't get a lot of flavor from it.
Right.
What are you running on your damn? What are you running on your steaks? Are you just running straight your charcoal or what?
Come on,
But
man. No,
chicken.
I use lump and I use Kingsford.
Lump and Kingsford. Okay.
Yeah, Kingsford got that good steak flavor though. Something about Kingsford.
It's familiar, dude. It's just chicken.
That backyard flavor. It makes you think of like that first steak you ever had that you grilled on a grill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I don't use much. One bag, 110. I think one of the big bags of Kingsford, whatever, lasted probably 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
I just did it for that flavor.
Yeah.
Just a little flavor. Yep. Oh, John uses post oak, cherry, and a little maple. I mean, post oak's good. It's just a good mild wood. Probably it's milder than hickory. It's really good. I've never used maple.
That I did use. Maple was one of the ones I did.
Yeah, I would think maple. Yeah, maple would probably.
Isn't maple like real sappy?
It's sweet. Yeah.
It's sweet. It's got a sweet flavor to it. So
you put like 3 or 4
dark, like black.
3 or 4 wood chips for that. Maybe
it won't take much. That's for sure. I mean, maple's got a really sweet flavor to it, and I think it gets pretty dark. I know cherry will make everything deep mahogany cherry red. So
I've never used maple in my life. I didn't know that they made maple wood to use to cook with.
Yep. No, so used to use different woods, made the switch to straight pecan last summer. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it.
It's so smooth, it's so smooth. It works anywhere. So I used to use I would use the char logs in my offset. I'd stack them up in there, and then I would just feed the char logs to it once I had a bed of oak lump or hardwood.
Yep.
So I would use that. I'd use the oak lump or whatever I had, and then from there I would jump over with just the char logs for the heat right after it's all wrapped and done.
Yep. Yeah.
I used to use a stick of mesquite, a stick of oak, and a stick of pecan, and I would alternate them depending on what meat was going on.
Right.
So brisket, I'd throw 2 sticks of mesquite and pecan, and I just kind of, or oak, and red oak, white oak. I mean, depends on what you got, what the wood guy had. I mean, yeah. Pecan has been my go-to wood since probably 19.
Yep.
I think another thing about pecan is pecan burns a little faster, so you don't have to have that long smoke process. You can have that smoke hit it, and then it kind of burns a little faster because it just it burns off and turns into a nicer ash. It's not as it doesn't turn into like a charcoal. Where it breaks down, it actually just burns up and you get that nice smoke. And then it's done with. You don't have to worry about the smoke anymore.
Yeah. That's what I've noticed when I use chunks. I mean, like I said, it'll smoke pretty good for about 20 minutes, and then it just kind of just keeps going away. And next thing you know, you don't see it, and you go in there, and it's just kind of broke apart and put another piece in it. So. All right, so Nick wants to know, is there a particular brand of meat injections you like? Are you an LC guy, a Butcher guy, a Cosmo guy, a Texas Oil Dust guy? I mean, have you got particular ones you like? All the above. That's a good way to answer if you don't want to give it away. So,
if you saw the table that I when I started doing injections and seasonings, I use a lot of stuff. And to be honest, man, I don't use the same stuff every weekend. So I'm not one of those guys that I run the same motor. I have 3 motors, for what I feel like is bigger comps.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's over 100, I have a whole different program than if it's 20 to 50 teams, Right. And then and then depends on where I'm at too as well. So if I'm more down south, I run a lot of different products towards if I'm right here in my local area where I know what they like here.
Right.
In the Houston area, like this past weekend, I mean, I can tell you some weird shit this past weekend that I haven't done all year, and I got me a GC. So
right.
I actually could tell you one thing that I'll say. I didn't inject anything this weekend except for brisket.
Really?
Yep. So the 3 meats that I walked top 10 in, I didn't inject none of them.
Okay. Nothing on your ribs either, huh?
Nope. I didn't inject pork. I didn't inject ribs. I didn't inject chicken. I
I
brined my
mean,
chicken. I brined my pork, and I just ran straight rub and baby in the ribs. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. What rib do you run? Let's talk about. You use Prairie Fresh. You use HEB Naturals,
So
Primes.
I'm a big chopping block. I get a lot of my ribs from chopping block. Man, it's one of my sponsors. So I love the Prairie Fresh Primes, dude.
Okay.
I buy multiple packs. Sometimes you gotta get the double packs. So like, you might pull those out, and you have one nice solid one, and then you have one that's
The scrappy
thinner.
one.
They
Yeah.
don't match it all. So you gotta
Right.
kind of buy 2 or 3, and then you match them up. You find the ones that match and look good.
Right. Right.
And if I don't have the opportunity to get him from him, and I'm running out of time, or I worked all week and don't have time to just drive, because I either got to drive to Victoria to get that, which is an hour and a half, or drive to Tomball, hour and a half. So I'm like stuck right here in the middle of nowhere, Kendleton, Texas,
Right.
where
Right. Right.
out 400, we don't got stores. So I usually, if I'm not running that, dude, I like IBP, man. IBP
Yeah.
is.
WP's a good rib.
I got
Piece solid.
I
Yeah.
got HEB right here in Richmond, Texas. That, man, I can go in there and they have. I mean, I'll be over there for an hour digging through ribs, and I'll
Yeah.
find like five hammers, and I'll put 3 in the freezer and take 2 in the cook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm an IBP guy, dog, all the way,
Yeah.
man.
I
I
love
love
it.
it. Unless
It's-
they'll bring out the Smithfield extra tenders, if they'll bring those back, I'll be the first on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
a Springfield extra tender in a long time.
They're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Walmart don't have them in the freezer section.
Yeah, they don't even have them. Anna, glad to have you with us. And Scotty did great this weekend too, man. They had some big calls she was telling me about.
They did
Yeah.
too. Anna and Scott, yeah.
Yeah, they had some great calls. Let's see.
Bo
Do you?
Daniel, I think Darren. There's about 4 of us, man, and we all hit on the same weekend. There's some homies of mine, so I'm proud of them.
Yeah. Do you run recipes or just what you feel that day? Congrats on the weekend. He said he's got 3 different motors he runs, so he's
I'll
got a
tell
little
you
ball.
products I use though. I'll tell you all 5 products I use though. It's Gulf Coast Smoke, which is one of my sponsors as well. Big shout to them. Chicken Fried, LC, Texas Oil Dust, and then my buddy out in Oklahoma, Elk Creek Barbecue, Cam Day. Man, I use a lot of products on my pork. Check out his stuff, dude. Hog knuckle, the honey chipotle, mixed with some other stuff. You play with your ingredients, man. You find ones you like.
Stick with it.
Yep. And this weekend also, I'll tell you, I didn't layer anything. I just, man, I picked my favorite rubs. I put them up quarter in a bottle. Shit
Shook them up.
And I didn't do layers. I just went full
One
throttle
pass.
with 1 bottle. Full throttle, 1 bottle, no layers.
There
Hit
you
'em
go.
up.
That's it. Wow. That's pretty
Simple.
cool. All right, so let's talk about this. We're gonna do a little segment in the middle of the show. We always like to kind of just give a pro tip. I mean, we're taking some of these videos and we're clipping them, we're putting them on our YouTube channel and stuff. So let's get to that time. I'm going to ask you one pro tip that you could feel like helped turn somebody's game around. If it helped turn your game around, what you did. He's got his book out, man. This is going to be good. I don't care if it's a cooking technique. I don't care if it's something the way you run the grill. I don't care if it's brisket, rib, chicken, whatever it is. But if there's a pro tip that you have that you think would be really, really good for either a backyard cook, a competition cook, maybe it helps both. What would it be? We're going to give you some time.
3 pages, and I think they're full of pictures. I don't really
Probably
know
so.
how good this really is.
It's actually 50 Shades of Gray. I just hit it between this booklet. No, I would say, man, I'm going to be blatantly honest. I've been succeeding lately through stop being kind of arrogant of I've been cooking a long time, So I think, you think I got it going on, you go to every cook-off, you're disappointed. You're like, man, So my thing is, man, just get your head out your ass, ask some questions. Talk to folks, man. People like Aaron, all these guys will give you tips and advice, man. If you're scared to ask questions, then it's never going to help you, man. You got to ask and not be scared to just take criticism.
Right.
Pro tip is ask questions, be willing to listen. Bad habits are created by ourselves only, So we create our own bad habits. So if you think your food is great because your wife's telling you it's great, and your friends are like, that's the best rib I've ever had, then, that doesn't mean nothing if the judges aren't happy. So
That's right. That's right.
It's not how you cook it, it's how you put it in the box. And that's
Yeah.
just how it works. I mean, eyes are the first thing they look
Right.
at. So
Right.
if
And that's,
it's looking good, most likely they're gonna think it's decent. So. But
yeah.
get help. Ask questions. Even as a backyard cook, if you think if your kids ain't eating your food, then you probably aren't that good at it. So
Yeah.
ask some questions.
Yeah. And I tell people that you brought up a good point there, and I'll say this, people tell you all my stuff is great, blah, blah, blah. And I always tell people when they tell me that, I was like, I want to be honest with somebody, lying to them ain't going to make it no good, and people are like, what do you think about this? You want me to tell you to make you feel good, or you want me to tell you what I think, And, but it all boils down to, what does the judges think? If you think it's good and you turn it in and you consistently cannot get top 10 finishes, it must not be good, so that tells you right there, it's time to change something, right? So, and I think that's, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard for people. A lot of people, they change. And I don't know what to change. I don't know what to do. You have to be really good
guys,
with.
Man, guys are hard headed.
Yeah.
We're all
So,
grown men. And we don't want to feel embarrassed of our food, so we want to fucking keep cooking what we're cooking. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
But, we want to do what we want to do, and we don't want another dude telling us, "Hey, you should do this." So,
right.
But sometimes if the guy's winning all the time and he's telling you what to do, then it's best to just kind of back, take a step back.
Yep.
And kind of, try to implement maybe a few things that you haven't done yet. Try something new a little bit, So.
Yeah, it's all about flavor profiles. That's the biggest thing. I mean, and I try to tell that to people all the time. I mean, I've been trying, like year before last, I took a whole year off just to try something different with chicken. Chicken was probably one of the most inconsistent meats that any of us have, unless you're Anna. And, I was just up and down on chicken, never could get nothing consistent. And I just kind of took a year. I was like, I'm going to try a whole bunch of different things. And man, I tried on Weber grill. I tried it on my M16. I was trying and learning things about this chicken. And I never could get it to work the way I wanted it to on an M16 or a Weber. And I just finally said, you know what? I've learned a lot of stuff over this time. And I said, I'm going to go back to my WSM. That's what I had cooked on for 6 years. And I took all the stuff that I learned and I rolled it over into that, and I put it back on that grill. First competition, I had a 3rd place. Next competition, 3rd place. Now, this is after a whole year of having like 2 calls. I had 1 first, and I think I had 1 10th for the whole year. Then I had a 3rd. I had a 3rd.
And chicken the whole year?
The whole year trying all these new things.
Yeah.
And it just, but I just couldn't get the chicken. I could not get it to what I wanted, right? And I was like, you know what? I know this chicken is not doing what it needs to be doing. The flavor's there, but it's not doing what it needs to do. So I said, I'm going back to my WSM. I went back to my WSM, 48 teams, 3rd place chicken. Next competition, 50 teams, 3rd place chicken. Went to my next competition, 3rd place chicken. My next competition had a 5th place chicken. I mean, and this chicken's pretty much been a lot of top 5s since then. And I had 2 firsts last year. I don't have 2 or 3 3rd places, a 5th, a 7th. I mean, it's just, you've got to kind of find something, and this year I was like, okay, I'm going to try something now with ribs. Ribs have kind of been all over the place here lately. Even Aaron says in his travels, they're all over the place in Texas now. It's not just what it's down in the Rio, it's all across Texas. So this year I was like, I'm going to try something completely different. Took everything I had, threw it out, grabbed all my stuff, put it up here. I've got a pretty good palate. I cooked a brand new rib recipe in Blanchard. I had a 10th place rib. I cooked another brand new recipe, had a 10th place rib. I cooked another brand new recipe. I think I had another 10th place rib. So
those are all
back to back, and all of them were all new sauces, rubs, injection, everything.
You cook like Kit Polk. You're a Kit Polker.
Well, I'm trying to find something. Just trying to find something all of a sudden that really stands out. And the thing is, I look at that. I had a 10th place rib at the last cook-off, but man, there was a 3-way tie. 8th, 9th, and 10th all had the same score. And 1 more point puts me in a tie for 5th or 6th. So, man, that's pretty close. Man, you're 1 point from 5th or 6th. In Blanchard, I mean, I had really good scores. I had one lady that said, man, I hated your sauce. Man, I had run you know what I ran for a sauce? I just said, I'm going to run straight up head country apple habanero. That was it. Nothing else. Never had I even done that before. And I had great scores all the way across the board. She gave me a 6. I think an 8 would have put me from 10th to 5th place. So, I'm like, man, should I go try that rib again?
She probably had that sauce straight up at home before, and she's like, I hate this sauce.
I guess.
So, same damn sauce I had at home.
Yeah. So
I tell you, back in the day, man, me and Paul Whitaker would travel a lot together in the same trailer. We would go because it was just we're going the same direction. Why we want to waste 2 trucks, 2 gas? We just throw the cans on there, do whatever. And in the wintertime, we never injected. We were some of the top cooks, 8, 17, 18, 19 in Texas, in ribs especially, right? And so it was like, but that you took a familiar flavor, a regular, you didn't overdo it. It wasn't too sweet, wasn't spicy, wasn't nothing. It just tastes like a rib in a big competition, and your flavor stood out. So maybe that's what y'all do, Mike. Instead of doing all these new rib recipes, just leave them alone and season them up, smoke them.
That's what I did. Hey, I did that this weekend, and she got me a 5th place rib. So
sometimes you can do too much.
Well, I'm not putting a lot. I'm not a big over injecting. It's just like I said. It's new. I've got a bunch of different rubs, and I'm playing with different flavor profiles, and that's my biggest thing. I'm playing with flavor profiles and sauces. I've got a cajillion different sauces that I've been playing with and trying different things. But my wife is like, she said, well, at least she said 3 cook-offs, all new stuff, and you're getting top 10s with it every time. She said you can't be too upset with that because, I just feel like if you've got a good palate and you can taste good flavors, you can find out how good they are when you put them in competition. So it's just one of those things,
You write down. You seem like a guy that would.
Everything. You don't do all of this stuff and change all this. I can tell you every single thing that I did, how I did it, every single thing, and I can go back and
I started writing everything down each cook-off in the last 5 cook-offs since I took a couple classes.
Right.
So that way, if I'm gonna spend this money on classes, I'm gonna see how it works. I'm gonna write down everything I do.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I've been on that too. So I got my little book, and I'm gonna keep doing that from now on. And I think it's smart. A lot of people tell me they do the same thing. So
yeah, I've done that for every competition I've ever done since day one. So, but it just, and I don't know. I could go right back to my rib recipe.
That's another pro tip right there, by the way.
Yeah, keeping good notes.
You do. Keep track of your stuff, and if you do good, then you run it again, and with the same note.
Yep.
Everything's on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I've got all my recipes that I've ran since 2017 on my phone. Mm-hmm. As long as, and there might be a few missing because I had to buy a new phone. I might have lost some data, whatever. But all my recipes are on my phone: chicken, ribs, brisket, everything's right there. Sauces, new ideas, new rubs, new seasonings, whatever. It's all right there. So I can just go back and say what I run here. Last time I was here, and I'll put down the date, and I'll put down what place it was.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do that as well. If I go back to a competition, okay, I had a first place here last year. I had a first place last year in West. I had a first place chicken, first place brisket. One of the rare times I had a first place chicken. Yeah, first place chicken, first place brisket. Didn't get a call in rib. And so if I go back, I'm running the exact same recipes. And I've been to a lot of these competitions 2, 3, 4 times. And I could stop with all this shenanigans on the ribs and just go back to what I've been running in ribs. And they were a consistent rib. Usually they were 5th, 6th place, had a first, had a second, back to 5th, 6th place. My whole thing is I could keep running that, or I could try something to see if I can find something like that chicken that's just been pretty much solid. Top 5 every single time I get out. My brisket's usually pretty much like that. So if you don't try, sometimes I just feel like, to me, I'm always wanting to try to innovate, try something. And man, when I'm telling you, I'm trying some stuff off the wall stuff. I'm trying some crazy off the wall stuff. So yeah, because I just look at it. That's just the best way. I don't want to run what everybody else is running. I want to run. I always run my own stuff.
I want mine to pop. Like if mine hits a different flavor in their mouth than what everyone else is running, that I have a chance, to blow it out the water and do, win a big time.
That's right. That's right. Be on the lookout for Aaron's phone laying around. Just so you know.
It stays pretty close to my
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah, and he's got that 12-digit passcode that you never get in. That's unhackable. So I do the same thing, put my notes in my phone. Hey, where are you cooking at this weekend? Anna wants to know. You cooking again, Micah, this weekend?
So, this weekend I'm going to lay it low. I plan on going out to Beeville. I didn't register yet, but I wanted to go out there with Matias Serrato and them. I know all the big dogs are out there. I've had a couple people write me already, like, hey, you're going to come party out here in Beeville. But I got invited to a smaller one, dude. It's like 5 minutes down the road. It's a private event. So it's called The Barn here in Neville.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different thing, man. It's kind of a different style cook-off. We got to turn in 10 thighs, 10 ribs, 10 slices of brisket. And no one can cook anything higher than a Wagyu. They do a meat inspection.
Oh, cool.
And so it's kind of right down the road, man. I'm gonna go over there and just bring 2 drums and go, rock it and have fun, man. Hang out. They're all local. They're all local teams, so it's a bunch of homeboys of mine that are all just going there too. They all do cook-offs too, and CBA and all that.
Yeah.
So they're choosing to go there and hang out. I think it's an invite only, 25 max, and this is the first year I've been invited. So I think I want to go play around.
It's a different environment. It's a lot of fun, right? Because you get to do things. It's not competing against all the guys every weekend. Those kind of events are like anything can happen.
Yeah.
And they got to pay out. They got to pay out too. They're doing a Calcutta payout, and they got a nice award. So I'll do that, and then and then the week after I'll be out in Corpus Christi, man. Going to that one. CBA went out there. We're bringing the trailer out there, camper out there, and we're gonna go out there and live it up out there.
Yeah.
It'll take me 11 hours to get.
All right, brother. I know you got another show to jump on here in a minute. Who's your sponsors, brother? You got anybody you want to thank?
I want to thank a couple of mentors of mine. Like I said, Alan Freeman, Vivian Freeman, Johnny, Patty Dunn, Robert Smith, Phil Breeden, Bill. But my sponsors, Gourmet Wood, Gulf Coast Smoke, Chopping Block, First State Bank, and then the Elk Creek Barbecue, man. They always keep me in line, and they hook me up, and they take care of me.
There you go. Awesome. Micah, man, I tell you what, congratulations on an outstanding weekend. You showed up, you showed out. Appreciate it. We appreciate your support for Barbecue Champs Academy and giving us shout outs like you did tonight on the classes you took. It always helps us. So if you're out cooking, man, and you don't mind just saying, hey, man, if you need to up your game, take a class on Barbecue Champs. If you don't mind throwing that out there, we'd appreciate it because we're trying everything we can to grow the sport of barbecue. And we have. I mean, we know for a fact the impact that our classes has had over the last 6.5 years.
I've already gotten a few to take them, man. I've had a few guys come shadow me in a couple of places that they're newer cooks and they've learned a lot, and I've sent them to classes. They're on their way too, brother. So
I appreciate it. I appreciate you telling people and giving us shout outs in your posts and stuff like that because we want to keep growing this sport. I mean, that's the thing. It was dying off years ago, and I mean, that's really why I kind of started Barbecue Champs because I could just see a lot of the guys were getting out, and it just really wasn't as much as it just. I wasn't happy. I got into this. I loved how it was growing. I loved it, and then I started seeing a lot of people getting out that I really looked up to. And, man, I was like, we got to do something. So that's kind of when I came up with that. But anyway, congratulations on an absolutely awesome weekend. Thank you, brother, for everything. Aaron, thank you, brother, for being here, man. And hey, you didn't see Aaron getting glitchy tonight. That's for sure. So he got that internet fixed, good, man. Looking good. All right, guys.
The camera screen earlier too.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it. We've had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you picked up some pro tips from Micah. Lord willing, be back next week, Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Y'all go out there, have a lot of fun, and